Learn to say no. Saying no can be difficult, but this chapter will help you know when and how to do it. You'll realize when it's important to say no, to protect your time and energy, develop boundaries to maintain your mental health, and learn the skills to comfortably assert yourself. Making this decision will also provide you with strategies to help protect your well-being. With the help of this chapter, you will have the tools you need to make the decisions that are best for you and your goals. Master the art of saying no, and make sure it's a good use of your time and energy. Why you need to know when to say no, protecting your time, energy and mental health. Learn to say no. Knowing when it's important to say no is an important skill. When you say no, you are asserting your boundaries and expressing your need to prioritize your own well-being. It's important to understand when to deny certain requests, as it's essential to protecting your time and energy. First, it's important to be able to identify whether saying no is the best option. If you're feeling overwhelmed or feel like you have too much on your plate, it's important to take a step back and evaluate the situation. It's essential to understand that it's okay to say no in certain situations. When prioritizing your own needs, it's important to recognize when spending time on yourself is more important than spending time on other people or other things. Once you've identified when it's important to say no, you should begin to recognize areas in your life where you need to be more proactive. It's important to evaluate your personal and professional relationships and understand the importance of protecting your time and energy. Developing boundaries and setting limits is important to avoid overextending yourself. It can be difficult to say no in some situations. To make it easier, it's important to practice and develop the skill of saying no politely. Learn simple, effective phrases to use in difficult or awkward situations, such as, "Thanks for the offer, but I can't help you right now." This will help you feel more comfortable and confident when saying no. It's also important to consider the impact saying no can have on your mental health. Understand that feelings of guilt or anxiety are normal and develop strategies to deal with these feelings. It's also important to have a self-care plan after saying no, because it can help you take care of your mental health in the long run. Overall, learning how to say no is an important skill. Remember, saying no is essential to prioritizing your own well-being and needs while protecting your time and energy. With the right techniques and strategies, you can learn how to confidently assert your boundaries and set limits. Learning to say no, identifying areas of your life more actively. Learning how to say no is an important step in taking control of your life and setting boundaries for yourself. It may seem like a daunting task, but with the right strategies, you can learn to be more assertive and prioritize your own well-being. The first step in learning how to say no decisively is to identify areas in your life where you need to be more assertive. This may include personal relationships, professional relationships, or your relationship with yourself. Evaluate how much time and energy you are devoting to each of these areas, and ask yourself whether you are prioritizing your own needs. For example, if you find yourself too quick to put the other person's needs ahead of your own when spending time together, it may be time to set boundaries and be more assertive. This may mean saying no more often or making sure your own needs are met before meeting the needs of others. When it comes to professional relationships, assertiveness is even more important. This might include saying no to additional projects if you feel like you're already overloaded, or declining a meeting invitation if you don't feel it will help you with your work. Assertiveness is also important in protecting your interests when negotiating contracts, deadlines, or salaries. When it comes to yourself, it's important to practice assertiveness to prioritize your well-being. This may mean making sure you take breaks to relax and unwind, or taking time to pursue personal interests. It can be especially important to say no to activities that don't bring you joy or serve your purpose. Overall, learning to be more assertive and say no is a valuable skill that can protect you from overextending yourself and promote your own well-being. By understanding the areas in your life where you need more assertiveness, you can begin to practice saying no more often in a way that works for you. Recognizing when to say no is your best option. In the right circumstances, saying no can increase the value of your time, help you prioritize your own needs, and protect the mental and physical well-being of yourself and those around you. It's important to know when to say no and how to do it in a respectful and empowering way. It's important to recognize that saying no is the best option. Often situations arise where it is best to choose a different option, or not engage in an activity at all. It's important to know when it's best to say no. Being able to recognize when something isn't right for you can help you protect your time and energy. Saying no can also increase the value of your time. It's hard to focus on a task or activity if you keep saying yes to things you don't care about or care about. Prioritizing the things that are important to you and investing time and energy into these activities can help you lead a more productive and satisfying life. Self-awareness is also essential in deciding when to say no. Understanding what is best for you and distinguishing between what is worth your time and what is not can be a difficult task. But being honest and upfront about what you don't want to do can help you make the most of your time and energy. By recognizing that saying no is the best option, you can conserve your time and energy and become more mindful and aware. Being self-aware and understanding when to say no can help you create boundaries, prioritize activities and tasks, and improve focus and productivity. Create boundaries to protect your time and energy. Saying no is an important skill that everyone must master. Knowing when to step back and protect your time and energy is an important part of leading a balanced and productive life. Setting strong boundaries is the key to success in all areas of life. So learning how to do them effectively is an important part of achieving success through mastery of commitment. One of the best ways to set boundaries is to take time for yourself and engage in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This may include taking a break from your daily tasks to go for a walk, have a cup of tea, or read a book. Recognizing your limits and taking time to recharge will help you avoid overextending yourself. Setting clear boundaries means saying no to others' requests, even when you know you can't commit. It can be difficult to say no to a request. This is especially true when we receive requests from people we care about. But learning how to say no is an important skill for protecting your time and energy. When you say no, explain why and let the other person know that it is not a reflection of how you feel about them. Taking time for yourself is also an important aspect of setting boundaries. Make time for activities that don't focus on productivity, such as meditating, playing an instrument, or spending time with loved ones. This can help you stay connected to yourself and your passions, and provide an opportunity to relax and recharge. Finally, it's important to remember that you may need to adjust your boundaries as your living circumstances change. As you experience more success, you will get used to setting harder limits for yourself. You can also adjust your boundaries depending on the situation. If you're feeling overwhelmed one day, you may need to be more flexible with your rules. The key to setting healthy boundaries is understanding your own needs and limitations. Having a clear understanding of what you can and cannot do can help you create boundaries that will protect your time and energy. With practice, you'll become more comfortable asserting yourself and saying no when necessary, helping you maintain a sense of balance and stay focused on tasks that will help you achieve your goals. Learn to say no. It can be difficult to say no when someone else asks for your time or energy, even if you feel like the situation isn't best for you. It can be difficult to say no if the person asking is someone you know or someone you feel you owe something to. But saying no can be beneficial in the long run, helping you make more productive decisions that benefit your mental and emotional well-being. Learning to say no can be a difficult skill to master, but it's one that can be beneficial in the long run. To get started, it's important to understand the impact of saying no in any given situation and realize when it's the best option. Once you know when it's best to say no, it's important to learn how to say no in a polite and comfortable manner. The following techniques can help you say no decisively. 1. Be honest. Be open and honest about why you can't or don't want to do something. It's important to be honest about why you can't or don't want to do something without being too confrontational. For example, instead of saying no and not offering an explanation, say something like, "I understand why you're asking, but unfortunately I can't do that right now." 2. Be clear when you say no. Be clear and direct. It is important to be clear and articulate when expressing yourself as it helps avoid confusion, misunderstanding and potential conflict. 3. Use simple phrases. Use simple, straightforward phrases when you say no. Simple phrases such as "I can't," "No, thank you," or "I'm sorry, but I can't right now" can help you communicate your decision in a polite and respectful way. 4. Stand your ground when saying no. It is important to be firm. Don't give up or be intimidated by other people's requests. This can weaken the strength of your decisions. 5. Take care of yourself. Remember to take care of yourself first. Take time to think about the situation and your own well-being before making a decision. In addition to learning the skill of saying no comfortably, it's important to develop strategies to protect your mental health when faced with the decision to say no. Understanding how saying no can impact your mental health can help you make decisions that are best for you in the long run. Creating a self-care plan, such as taking breaks or engaging in calming activities, can help you deal with the anxiety and guilt that may arise when making decisions that benefit your well-being. You can increase the value of your time and energy by learning the skill of saying no comfortably and developing strategies to protect your mental health. When you decide to say no, knowing when it's best to say no and finding the courage to stand up for yourself can help you create boundaries, prioritize your own needs, and reach new levels of success with mastery of flow. Developing strategies to protect your mental health when saying no. Learning how to say no is an important skill. It's not always easy, but it can help protect your mental health in several ways. Saying no is one of the major impacts on our mental health. Deciding to decline an offer or walk away from a situation can be emotionally and mentally draining. It's important to be aware of the potential repercussions of saying no. It's also beneficial to recognize the mental health benefits of saying no. Deciding not to participate can help prevent feelings of anxiety, guilt, or pressure. It may be easier to focus on yourself and your needs, rather than other people or situations. It's important to have the right strategies in place to protect your mental health when saying no. Being prepared and planning can be very important. It can be helpful to practice a variety of techniques for saying no in a polite yet confident way. Practicing simple phrases can help you stay on track with your goals and desires. It can help you set boundaries or limits for yourself and let people know what is and is not acceptable. It's also important to develop self-care strategies after saying no. This can include anything from relaxation, walks, and connecting with friends and family. Self-care can be as simple as taking a moment to appreciate yourself and your decisions. Taking time for yourself is always essential, especially when it comes to mental health. Saying no can be difficult, but it's a necessary skill to practice. If you want to preserve your mental health, it's important to know when it's appropriate to say no and when it's not. It's also important to recognize the potential mental health benefits of saying no and develop strategies to take control of yourself and your mental health. Taking time for self-care is always essential and a great way to recharge and protect yourself from potential stress and overwhelm. With the right strategies, saying no can work to your advantage, and mastery of flow can set you up for success. Conclusion. In this chapter, readers learned the importance of recognizing when you need to say no and understanding the value of creating boundaries to protect your time and energy. We discussed strategies to help readers learn how to say no comfortably and ultimately protect their mental health. Through this chapter, readers have been given the tools to confidently make healthy decisions and prioritize their own well-being. Common mistakes to avoid when saying no. One of the most common and not so obvious mistakes people make when mastering deep flow skills is underestimating the importance of boundaries. Many of us don't realize how much time and energy we can rob ourselves of by constantly saying yes to everyone and everything. We're conditioned to believe that saying no is selfish and rude, but it's important to understand that boundaries are necessary to maintain mental health and focus. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed and overcommitted. You can quickly become overstretched, overwhelmed, and exhausted. You also run the risk of spreading yourself too thin and never fully learning how to focus on the important things you have. Setting boundaries gives you the time and energy to dive deep and truly master the task. Not setting boundaries can also lead to a lack of self-esteem. Prioritizing your well-being and respecting yourself enough to put yourself first can be difficult, but it is essential. Setting boundaries is a way to show yourself that you matter, and it's okay to say no politely when necessary. Another mistake people make is not creating a routine that helps them stay focused. Routines can help you get into the habit of completing tasks. It also helps you better manage your energy levels and avoid distractions. Routines are also useful when you're trying to focus on one activity for an extended period of time. Many people also overestimate how much multitasking they can handle. Trying to do more than one thing at the same time can be confusing and distracting. It is important to remember that quality is better than quantity. Prioritizing a few tasks at a time is a much better way to stay focused and productive. Lastly, people often forget the importance of self-awareness. You need to know what works for you and what doesn't. It is essential to take time to reflect and identify what is working for you and what is not. That way, you can adjust your approach and strategy to stay focused and productive. All in all, these are some of the most non-obvious things people get wrong when it comes to mastering the art of deep flow. Many people underestimate the importance of boundaries, neglect creating routines, overestimate the amount of multitasking they can handle, and forget self-awareness. Understanding each of these things will help you stay focused, clear, and productive.